Hello, Job Doer here, and today I forgot to recap about how this other one got ducted out. So if you followed the installation of the range hoods, you have noticed that the one on the right was able to duct out to the back. The one on the left, not so much, and let me show the reason why here. Inside your wall, let's say you got a wall here, you have 2x4s, 2x6s or so, you know, they come down like this. They come down from your top there to the bottom here, right? And with spaces in between. Now the one on the right, we lucked out and they had a part like this here. We were able to put the ducting through. The one on the left would have actually gotten into this 2x4 here. And now some are saying just cut the 2x4, but no, that's a big no-no. This here should be a outer wall, so it's load supporting, and even though it might be okay in theory to just get one of these, then you have a pretty good sized gap between the two, and that could cause some damage, especially if you either have a seasonal roof weight change, like if you have snows that come in and weigh down on it, or if you have like say earthquakes that shake things up somewhat. So the proper way to do such a thing would have been, if this here's the 2x4 here, is either take it out and move it, or yes, you could cut it, but it'd be something like this. You'd have a supporting 2x4 here, or a build-up might be a 4x4, something like that, with studs that come down to the floor. And then you'd have a built-up block like so, and a built-up block like so. And then the same thing, another 4x4, 2x6, something substantial on both here. So now you can take this part here out and you have a spot for your rectangular duct to go. And of course you'll need some supporting up like so, and probably 2x4s down each side like this. This here is a real brief and shoddy drawing of how it should be done. But in the end you could duct it through the wall, just like this one here. Now, the plus side of that is that it's stuck to the wall and you can't see it. The downside of that is that's a lot of work, and or known as cost. Depending on if you're doing it yourself or someone else is doing it for you, cost comes into play. And for me to do that, you'd be talking about basically taking away this tiling back here. You have to bust through that, and then the drywall, which I already showed you how to kind of fix that drywall. So basically, that's why this is now ducted through here on one side and not the other. Kind of odd, but it should work just fine. Make sure this is all sturdy. A little loose. Huh. Well, what the... Oh, what happened? So, man, it's so hard to find good workers this day and age when you work by yourself. Anyhow, that's what this video is going to be about now, is installing this here round 6-inch ducting through the wall. Alright, so after you have the hood installed, like this one here is, the first thing you want to do is measure your ducting here, your exit, so you know what kind of size you need. This here, oddly enough, is a 6-inch round, and in this part of the woods, that's not very common apparently. Usually 7 inches is about the smallest here, but maybe it's a European style, who knows. So you measure diameter, side to side. This was 6 inches, and so you buy stuff that's known for 6-inch ducting. The next thing you need to do is have an exit plan. Now I know that right about here, or actually over here I think it was where the stud's at. You don't want to get anything over here either, so you only have so many parts to work with. And so basically what I have button, these are two of these deals here that they can turn at these spots, and then turn in the middle here. You can connect them. I don't want to turn them because I set this up perfectly after 5 hours of playing with it. So I got this up here, and I just temporarily mounted it to this part and put it into the wall to see about where it is going to line up on the wall. Now that I have that done, I'll get my stud detector out and simply look for studs in that area. So nothing there, and let's try this again here. Nothing there. Well, okay, so there seems to be a little bit of a top stud here. So right about where it's at is going to be hopefully perfect. The next thing I'll do is mark the center of that circle, or about. I found that the round ones usually have a little more adjustments to make. So I'm going to put a little dot here in what I think is about the center of that circle. When in doubt, measure it out. So I'm going to grab me a tape and double check that, and get back to the next step. Alright, so I double checked real quick, ran the tape across here, got it right in the middle, right around 3 inches for this one. Marked it, and I did a little circle. You can take a piece of the ducting, which basically did that round thing. But basically this here's it's about 6 inches around. Like I said, well, we'll fix any issues later. And now before I start cutting it out, you want to get a long drill bit of some type. I got a concrete one here, rock. That'll be fine for this drywall, but I'm going to drill not only through this center, and try to keep it level and all right. I'm going to go straight back, you know, there's insulation in the way, to that back wall. And drill into it. Now, as you can imagine, there is stuffing in the back of this wall, insulation, and so I probably kind of perturbed it a little bit, but it should be fine. Next weapon of choice is the good old drywall saw, and you know, I'm going to do a little something like this here. I'm going to start it over here, just within my line a little bit. And I'm going to work it down and around. I like to do real shallow cuts. Once again, make sure there's no wires. I know there's wires here, but I believe this is up and down and not left and right. So, while I'm jimmy rigging this thing here around to cut this hole out, you guys go take a little snack or something. Alright, so at the end, it should look like this. Now, it's not perfectly cylindrical, but that's fine. I might have to still cut some off. You know, I might have to fill some in later. But the thing about this here, though, is you can buy a 6-inch round hole saw for drywall. And you can buy it for, I think, cinder block, stucco type of stuff, too. But I guess my theory is if I'm just going to use it once, I maybe don't want that hanging around. So we got this here open. We got a little door handle here. And behold, the mysteries behind the drywall. So, I'll move this little hockey puck away. And what you see there, luckily, is some plastic, which is part of the insulation. And can go away. Yeah. And we got some paper here, which is on the back of our insulation. Maybe I'll peel this off a little bit. And there's the insulation. Beautiful, right? So because I've done this before on this wall, tacked a hole through it, I'm going to probably score it in the middle and fold this insulation back up in the drywall so I get back to the wall behind this. In fact, maybe I'll just use my little knife here and do a little rippy. I could just take that whole paper out too, maybe I'll do that, but nah. Try to keep some sanity here. Alright. Anything that comes out of here, don't breathe, right? Deep in there. I'm also kind of following that hole back. And if you're someone that doesn't like fiberglass, makes you itchy and stuff, wear gloves. Alright, so there we go, basically. Like that. And let me get a bit of a view here for y'all. Wash my hands off. So, now what we've gotten is a hole right there. Alright, got a hole there. Cutting through there, you can see that hole in the back where we drilled through, so just sort of straight. That's going to be important because after I maybe push some more of that fluff to the side, I'm going to drill, well, I'm going to drill back to the hole. Okay, so once again I already checked the back of the wall, and everything is fine back there. So I'm going to line up my drill to the middle point here, and it gives it a nice little drill through. And I'm through the wood, I'm in the styrofoam, and just like that, I am through the stucco on the outside wall. So now, we'll be ready to mark the outside wall with a 6-inch circle around it. And all of the circles should be in alignment. Okay, so bear with me now. It's a little windy out here, but you see we got the center hole there. And next what I'm going to do a little cross across it, about 6 1/4. 6 1/4 with the middle being that hole. Alright, so when I measured that, I actually measured it a 3 1/8, then as the center. Then I marked off the end, and then I marked 6 1/8. So that should give me 6 1/4 all the way across. Next we'll do is we will set up our a 6-inch circle, which I'm going to use part of the elbow for, and do a line around it. Alright, so we got that there done pretty good, looks like, and next we'll be using, since I know this stucco here, because I've already put a hole through it before, is I got something like this here. Alright, it's a little chiseler, right, and a hammer, so I'm going to do a little banging away at it. Alright, and one more thing here. I'll bang some more, but remember I got this here on. I got goggles on just because it's a little bit windy here, and that adds a little bit more protection from getting hit in the eyes with stuff and from the wind too. So let me bang away at this more, and we'll get to the inner parts. Okay, now we've got our circle pounded out there. Next what we'll do is there's some wire, chicken wire, right? And so I got some wire cutters. I'm going to go to town on that chicken wire. Maybe you can see it from there, maybe not. Yeah, you can probably see it there. Also, if I need more, use the hammer claw to bust out more of that drywall, the stucco stuff. So, wire cutters, like so. Right, so that's pretty effective, so I'll continue with that method. Alright, so the next cream frosting in this wall is styrofoam. And what works good for this here is actually this right here. Drywall knife. Saw, whatever. Alright, so I've got a dark hole there now. The next thing we do is we're going to bring the sawzall, right? Reciprocating saw, I mean. And a drill. So I drill maybe 1 or 2 pilot holes first with a 1/2-inch bit. Alright. Drilled it. And now it's time to saw it out. Cut it out. Well, you get the idea. Alright, look what I made. A mess. So, let's take a little looky up there, shall we? Hello? Any halflings in there? Yes. Alright, so we have some insulation there. Some twiggies, some splinters. Take that out, take this out, take this out, and now I got the gloves on, and I'll spread this out so it's a nice circle. right in through the house. Now we're going back inside and work on what's going to go on the end of this. On the outside is this right here. This here cap, you see? This here goes up against the wall. When the air blows to it, it pushes this out. There's a nice, no birds, little, well, not too little bugs, but you know, a little bug keeper here. And this thing pops out for cleaning. And yeah, 4 holes up in the corners here, right? To actually put some screws to mount it in. And what I'm going to do now is take a measurement of the wall that we just went through. So there's something like this here. Let me try with you know, one hand on this and one hand on this. So we got this hole, and what we're going to do here is we're going to put a tape measure either from this side or the other side out, grab something and measure it. So if you look closely, like that, you can see it's about 7 3/4 inches. Now, I just want to show that for reference. I don't trust it, so I'm going to go outside and measure it from the other side too, to the inside, and yeah, measure it. Oh yeah, would you look at this tall, rigid piece of ducting? Right, so this right here, I'm going to shove through the wall, but not till we cut it down. So, what we need, I believe, is this corrugated part up here, what we'll call the male side, to go on the female side of this part here. And to do this, first we measured, and through the wall, yeah, it's about 7 3/4. I'm going to just round up to 8, so math's simple. And then I'm going to add on probably the measurement here, 2 inches. So now we've got 10 inches there. So I'm going to measure from here down 10 inches and mark it with my marker that I have right here. So 10 inches coming up. 10 inches exactly or so. Now what I'll do is actually do a better job of marking this up, and we'll get to cutting it. Alright, so I got my line laid down there, and got some leather gloves there on standby, and let me show you a thing here. These here are tin snips, right, metal cutters, and look, there's this one here, and this one here, right? See a difference? Maybe a little bit. One has black handle, one has red. That's a kind of a thing. And what it is on them, they might say that one cuts straight, and this one here says it cuts to the left. And guess what? There's ones out there that says it cuts to the right. So we're going to stick with one that cuts straight. And I'm going to don some hand armor for this, at least for my one hand here. It's going to get in the mess of it. Because this stuff's kind of sharp, and when you start cutting it, it gets 10 times sharper, or so. Alright, and otherwise, just get your thing lined up here. It's going to be a hard cut because it's starting. I might even start just like cutting little pieces here. Right, choke down on it. And away we go here. I said, away we go. Alright, well, while I continue this, and hopefully keep my hands safe. Alright, so if you're horrible at this, or have a little bit of issues like I might have had, just, you can see here it's not quite, kind of sticking up, just get some pliers, and, you know, bend down any kind of ledges, edges, whatever. Keep in mind that this stuff's sharp, you know, it could definitely cut butter in your skin, and maybe even cut through your glove. But at least it might be slightly duller after it cuts through your glove. I guess I'm just kind of crimping this down, and I want to look up for any really sharp, pointy parts. Like I almost made one here, but I think I cut it off, or maybe just here. Anyways, I got it flattened down. Next thing we should do with this tube thing is, it's not much of a tube yet, right? You want to put together. So I'm going to get this part here adjusted a little bit. And you have a bottom part and an inner part. So the inner part looks like this, bottom part's like that. So you just kind of bend them in together. You tuck in this bottom part underneath it and the inner part on top of it there. And try to keep it still, nice and straight and stuff. And it should just go shazam like that. Right? See that? Magic. Yeah, I'm going to crimp this bottom part here, or the back part, a little bit like so. So it's in there better, I think it is. Alright, then what I'll do, not yet, is I'll run a bead of tape across here. And this seam, when I install it, is going to be at the top. Okay? So the bottom part here, when it goes to the wall, can catch any liquids and stuff and hopefully run out. If there's a little bit of a dropout, that's even better. Drop out the wall. I don't know if I put that in here or not. But I got this part here done. So next what we'll do is we'll take the cap and stick it on that part there. Or no. No, I'm glad you people are paying attention. This here is now a female end. The male end has the corrugated part to it. So I got the top part here where I want it to the wall, top part of this, and now I'm just going to kind of squeeze it in there so you can't really see it that good. Is that a good angle? I don't know. There, you get started, just kind of shimmy it in there. Shimmy it real good. Right, so that there is, believe it or not, attached. I look around it and make sure there's about the same kind of gap between the two spots. And I can look inside and make sure it's in there, but not too far in. This right here, I don't know if this is made for this. And there's like a little bit of an indent here, so if you had flexible ducting, you can put on here and put a clamp on it and tighten it down. But for this job, flexible ducting is no bueno. I mean, some places it might be up to code, but I don't think it is here. Just to kind of put it simple. And you know what? I don't want to even check on that because flexible ducting does go up to a certain temperature. I believe this right here will last longer though in general, not to mention, I say, smooth sides catch less grime. I think it's the same somewhere. Right, so I got that, and now I'm going to sink some screws in there, I think. Alright, so next what I want to do is secure these two pieces of metal together with something stronger than just the tape. So I got here a little screw like this, you see, a little sheet metal screw kind of thing, hex head, probably ½ inch. And I got a little hole there where I already drilled a hole. Some of these are self-drilling, some aren't. And most ones you get for this job are self-drilling. So I sink it down like so, and I'm going to do probably 2 more, a triangle. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to, once again, avoid putting something in the bottom trough. Alright? First, I gotta go find some more screws. Alright, so now we've got some metallized ducting tape. Not that other stuff, not the quacker stuff. And, yeah, I'm gonna start by running a bead down like so. Alright. So got that, got this unsafe knife here to cut it with. And, you'll see on the back here, metallized on one side, paper on the other side. So what you gotta do is find a spot to pull it apart. And, yeah, get in there and pull it apart. There we go. Then make sure it doesn't curl back on itself. So I'm gonna just go ahead and slap this up here. Yeah, like so. Bring it on back. And got that seam mostly taken care of there. And I got that part done, nice and smooth. I'm gonna do around this here too. You got the bolts in here, screws in there to hold this thing together, and this is gonna help keep the air flowing out and no mess. So basically same thing, I'm just going to measure off a piece or so, and do a little cut here with my unsafe knife. Unsafe dull knife. So I can split it again. And if you take off this paper all the way without applying it, you probably could, but it likes to kind of tangle up, and once it touches itself, it's just ruined from there on out. So, got this here. And make it happen, right? Bring it around, kind of push it down as you go along. And we're back at start. And there. So, I'll smooth that down. And then I'll be ready to go through the wall. Now through the wall, put this through, this on the outside. I had some ideas for screws. Sure, I could do some special stucco screws, which I just happen to have on hand over here. Stucco anchors, right? Something like this here, 1.5 inches, coated and stuff like that. You drill a pilot hole, and then you can sink it in there. Okay. This little kit even has a little mason bit drill to go through. That'd be great if my stucco that I'm working with here actually had some more strength to it, but being a 1/2 inch or so, I'm not going to do it. Instead, what I'm going to do is use a specialized screw, something like this right here. This actually can eat through the stucco supposedly and into the wood. So I'm either going to use that, or I'll use this here, a 3-inch wood screw. And what this will do is actually it'll go through the stucco, through the styrofoam, and into that wood backing. So I'll probably just use that for this project. And this little special bit here, which I'll show it in action shortly. Right, so we got it in the wall, we got it pretty much leveled. Now what we do is drill some pilot holes straight through that stucco with that drill bit. And yeah. And then we can go back through with the other screws. We should jump around. Alright, so I'll do the next two. And then before we actually set that down, we'll pull it back out and use some sealant, some silicone caulking around. Alright, so we got the silicone caulk ready. And we'll just kind of apply it right behind this flange. Like so. Down the side. And on this side. And of course the top. Alright. Now I'll do a bit against the bottom here too. Okay. That should be good to be pushed back into spot now. Right. And take it home with some screws. until the stuffing comes out. All right. That's the last two, and we'll be back inside. The other piece that we already had perfectly set before, back in the position. Keeping in mind that if your top part here has this damper, hope you can see it on the screen, it comes up. See that? When it turns on. So you want to make sure if you put any screws through this, you put them on below that level of the damper, which is fairly low on this one. I do see there's a couple rubber garments here on the side. You probably can't see them, but it shows a marking, so I can have to do about a 1/4 inch from the bottom. Be perfect. A little bit of dust here. So got that part there. Cord management. This cord here shall go away for right now. And so the cord maybe I'll leave in there. So we have the contraption here. And this part here will go into this part. Kind of like so. Don't mind sharp edges. Shove it in deep. Okay, and then this part here will go into both of these. They go on this bottom part and in here at the same time, kind of. It's okay to use a little bit of strength here. Just make sure you get things lined up. And you can spin these two a little bit to get a different angle on stuff. Although I think I already got the angles right. There. So that is all together. And so I'm going to spin this a little bit here. No, I'm not. It's tight. Right, so that's what we have there. Now what I'll do is just jot in some more of those little screws and start to tape. Alright, there we have it. We could have made it look like a mummy and wrap more of that silver tape around it. You know, let's see what people think. But that there seals up all the little crevices and cracks. And now if you look over here, a little bit overcut, all we'll do there is pack some drywall compound in there. We'll mix it up, pack it in, prime it, and then paint it. And it should match pretty much the other fitting, should match the wall. Besides that, if you don't want to use pack it with drywall compound, there are, like, you know, metal finishing rings they make, you know, to put around those things, but you don't want to go that route. Last but not least, it is to test it out. So we'll turn this blower on high here, and then we fill up in here, right around it, behind it, all around the tube thing, and see if you find a draft, which I did not. So that there is some round ducting. Should last a good long time. And oh, the other way to check it out is to go around outside and make sure it's blowing out through the exhaust port, which it is, right? Check that out. And yeah, so this is done. So any questions, comments, leave them down below. And thanks for watching. Odd Job Doer, out.